Hi traders. It would be really hard to miss the fact that inflation has been soaring for a while now. Propelled by a backdrop of supply chain issues, COVID lockdowns, soaring energy prices, and of course the ongoing war in Eastern Europe, consumers are feeling the pinch across the globe. Coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. GMT, we have the CPI inflation reading, as you can see here in front of me on the economic calendar found on our AvaTrade platform. This will show us whether inflation is continuing to soar or whether it has already peaked. This reading has the potential to move certain markets if expectations for the reading are met or missed. Now, if you click on the event in front of you and you click on event chart, you can see the past, actual versus forecast. So this was the July reading, the June reading, the May reading, and so on. If you click on the price chart here, you can see for any given asset pair, so in this case the euro-dollar, how that asset pair reacted to the past CPI inflation readings. So the July one, you can see that the pair rose after the reading. You can see that with the June one, it rose slightly before crashing, and you can go way back. And you can also compare this to how the actual forecast came out versus the actual reading came out versus the forecast reading. You also have a volatility feature which shows you the potential volatility this event might bring, so either bullish, bearish or neutral. So bullish would be the green, bearish would be the red bars, and neutral would be blue. And the bigger the bars, the more volatile this event led to the outcome of the euro-dollar pair. And this was 1 hour after the event, and you can select all different time frames. And finally, you can see the impact the event had on this particular currency pair on the amount of pips. So here you can see in the last July 13th inflation reading, the euro-dollar moved a range of 121 pips during the 4 hours after the event. And you can also drill down to 1 hour, 30 minutes. And so on. So let's go back to the calendar, and you can see in front of you the potential reading, so the forecast here, and this would be the inflation rate year over year for July. This would be core inflation, so this would be your reading without energy and food prices, which are the most volatile of all the inflation reading products. You also have the month over month reading versus the year over year, so this would be this month compared to last month, core inflation this month against last month. Now, how can we potentially monetize from this event? Well, this event has the potential to impact the US dollar strength, and it can do that for the pairs, including, as you can see here, the GBP USD and other USD pairs, including the euro dollar. We also often find that when the US dollar soars, the gold prices move lower due to a negative correlation. And the third one, the reading also could bring volatility to the US dollar indices, such as the US 30, if the number moves either below or above expectations. If this event shows that inflation is still rising above expectations, the Fed may be tempted to continue their aggressive policy and keep raising interest rates to tamper inflation. The markets like Fed intervention, and indeed you could say that they're slightly addicted to it. So if this is the case, it could move the assets we discussed to the upside. However, if the inflation level slows down, it could mean the Fed has already managed to slow down the rate of rising prices, and this could encourage the Fed to take a less aggressive approach to hiking rates. This could mean less bids for the US dollar index, meaning a drop in the US dollar pairs, rising gold, and falling indices. And the last thing I want to just point out here is an amazing tool, which is called Market Buzz. This gives you an indication of what assets are making the news, which ones are getting the most mentions. You can look at any of the assets we've discussed in this video with regards to the CPI inflation reading, or indeed generally for stock trading ideas, crypto trading ideas. The bigger the bubble, the more the mentions. You can also see if the mentions are positive or negative, and this could give you an indication about which way to trade this stock or asset here. So that's it for now. Be sure to watch the inflation reading tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. GMT and watch this space for more info. Happy trading.